Hi, Miss. Hi, Miss.
Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm good, Miss.
How was your day? How was your weekend?
My weekend has gone good, Miss.
That's nice. So
Yeah,
the work that you've sent me on WhatsApp, that's the one you want us to do today?
yeah.
Okay. All right, let me pull it up. Give me a second.
Yes, Miss. Miss, is my coursework nice, Miss?
Which one specifically?
All of them.
The one you just sent me or the one you sent me last week?
And the one I sent you, Miss, can I share you all of my my coursework because I've completed all of it.
Yeah, sure, sure. Okay, let me pull up. You can send me all your coursework and I can check it slowly.
This is not working from the chats, Miss, because it's more than 1,000, Miss.
Okay, so send me one at a time, okay? We can check one and then we can move on to the next one. You don't
Okay,
have to send me everything all together, okay?
okay.
You can go because then it will get confusing as well. This is what you've sent me yesterday or today, I think.
Yes, Miss. Yesterday I've sent you that.
Yeah. So what do you want me to check here for you?
Like my teacher will actually check, Miss, what should I do next, Miss? Because I already finished the whole
You
coursework,
said you have
Miss.
not done the guiding question and you've not done the further question.
My miss said like to leave like the guiding question and the further question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do then today? Do you have any other homework or coursework?
No, Miss, but can you help me for art analyzing?
For
Art?
art, like drawing?
No, analyzing.
Analyzing what?
Art?
Do you have a piece of art that you have to analyze? Is there anything specific?
Yeah.
Yeah, send that over. We can take a look.
Miss, are you also a teacher for art, Miss?
No, that's why I asked you what you needed help with because I'm not good at art.
So can you help me for analyzing or not,
Yeah,
Miss?
yeah, analysis is okay, but I can't help you draw. Drawing, I'm not good at.
Okay, Miss.
Yeah. Have you sent me the picture for analyzing?
Oh, Miss, I'm so sorry, Miss. I don't have the image.
Even you, none of your friends have it?
They do have it, Miss. Can we do something else? Like for English, Miss?
Sure, what do you want to do? Is there anything that you're doing in English language, any art, any writing, essay writing, or anything like that?
No, Miss, I'm done, Miss. Can we do like Aaron Ralston, Miss?
Aaron,
Ralston, the 24 hours in the rock?
24 hours, the other book, right? What is it called? Stuck Between a Rock? Is that the text?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, sure, sure. Do you have the text? Have you read it?
Yeah, between a rock and a hard place, Aaron
Yes.
Ralston.
Yes, yes, yes. Let me open up mine. Do you want to read through it again?
No, Miss, can you explain me? And then,
Yeah,
yeah.
let me pull it up on my end, okay? Just give me a moment. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let me copy the text onto the screen. Have you done any annotations on it?
No, miss.
Okay.
I've not done it, miss.
All right, let me just copy the text onto the screen. Okay, let me also give you
Miss, but I told to my miss, like I was watching a video and the video is called Miss Ramsley, and then
yeah.
she was explaining ghastly suit of grey, and then
Mm-hmm.
I think I've answered like from her like I've taken the idea from the video, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I put it in my words, but I think like I've a little bit copied the text what uh Miss Ramsley was saying in the video.
Yeah, it's okay if you've used her ideas. That's fine. That's not a big deal. Obviously, try and write it as much as possible in your own words. That's my advice. You can use it for understanding because it's good to watch videos. They have different perspectives. It's really nice. But try and write things in your own words as much as you can. Okay?
Yeah, Miss.
Yeah,
Miss,
I've sent, yeah, go ahead.
I have one more question. Would the examiner notice that I've used the idea of the video and notice it, and like would they give me a
As
zero?
as long as you're not copying it word to word or you're not writing it down word to word, it's okay. Because even when your teacher is teaching you something, right? She tells you something, you like it, you write it down. Does that mean you're copying from her? Not necessarily, right? It's just a part of understanding the text. It's part of understanding the explanation of the text. But again, my advice would be that do not try and do it word to word.
Okay, Miss.
Yeah. I have sent you um the what do you call it? The video from Mrs. Ramsey for 27 hours between a rock and a hard space. Between a rock and a hard place. Why don't you go ahead and start watching that? Have you watched the one for this story or not yet? Have you
No, Miss.
watched? Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you
No.
go ahead and watch that right now?
Okay, Miss.
It may come up for question 4 and question 5. So the title Between a Rock and a Hard Place is an idiom, and it foreshadows that Aaron Ralston will find himself in a predicament where any decision he makes will be a difficult one. It's a first-hand account, so he's going to do a number of things. He will be informing the reader of what takes place and also informing the reader on some terminology for climbing. He's going to explain how the situation is, and especially when things turn for the worst, he will be describing that experience and the emotions that he goes through. I come to another drop-off. So we start with the detached tone. There doesn't seem to be any emotion here. So although the reader might find this situation quite scary, we don't sense that there's any nervousness from Aaron Ralston, especially because he uses the word another, which tells us that, you know, this is something he's done before. This one is maybe 11 or 12 feet high, a foot higher and of a different geometry than the overhang I descended 10 minutes ago. So we noticed that he uses mathematical language or measurements. That's for a number of reasons. One, it gives the reader a clear vision of his environment and just how high he is. It also tells us something about him and the type of climber he is. So he's very conscious of the setting, taking everything in. So he's being really careful as well. But again, there's no emotion at this point. So he comes across as quite confident. Another refrigerated chalk stone is wedged between the walls, 10 feet downstream from and at the same height as the ledge. It gives the space below the drop-off the claustrophobic feel of a short tunnel. Instead of the walls widening after the drop-off or opening into a bowl at the bottom of the canyon, here the slot narrows to a consistent 3 feet across at the lip of the drop-off and continues at that width for 50 feet down the canyon. So again, we have a lot of detail. So he's taking in his surroundings. So you can imagine he's working through kind of his next steps. So he is being very careful. But he seems confident at this stage. The word claustrophobic on line 4 does help create suspense, however, and may encourage the reader to start feeling quite nervous about this situation. However, I don't think it's sensed at this point that Aaron Ralston feels nervous in any way. Sometimes in narrow passages like this one, it's possible for me to stem my body across the slot, with my feet and back pushing out in opposite directions against the walls. Controlling this counter pressure by switching my hands and feet on the opposing walls, I can move up or down the shoulder width crevice fairly easily as long as the friction contact stays solid. Between the walls of my hands, feet, and back. This technique is known as stemming or chimneying. You can imagine using it to climb up the inside of a chimney. So we have positive language here. So again, this assured tone from Aaron Ralston. We've got it's possible, I can. And also the use of expert language, stemming or chimneying, just really explains why he's feeling so confident, because he's clearly an experienced climber and knows what he's doing. Just below the ledge where I'm standing is a chalk stone the size of a large bus tyre, stuck fast in the channel between the walls, a few feet out from the lip. If I can step onto it, then I'll have a 9-foot height to descend, less than that of the first overhang. I'll dangle off the chalk stone, then take a short fall onto the rounded rocks piled on the canyon floor. So the use of the dependent clause here, if I can step onto it, shares with us the way that Aaron Ralston works through his next steps. And that means he is being very careful. He's thinking through everything. And that gives a sense of him being in control, because he's taking his time to think about what's the best thing to do next. There is, however, the use of the phrase dangle off. Like claustrophobic, it just helps create that suspense. So again, it's important to note he doesn't seem very nervous at this point. In the third paragraph, he again is using mathematical language as well, 9-foot height, for instance. But it may be encouraging the reader to feel fearful at this stage. Stemming across the canyon at the lip of the drop-off, with 1 foot and 1 hand on each of the walls, I traverse out to the chalk stone. I press my back against the south wall and lock my left knee, which pushes my foot tight against the north wall. With my right foot, I kick at the boulder to test how stuck it is. It's jammed tightly enough to hold my weight. I lower myself from the chimneying position and step onto the chockstone. It supports me but teeters slightly. After confirming that I don't want to chimney down from the chockstone's height, I squat and grip the rear of the lodged boulder, turning to face back up canyon. Sliding my belly over the front edge, I can lower myself and hang from my fully extended arms, akin to climbing down from the roof of a house. So throughout that paragraph, we should note that he is using active voice. So in other words, Aaron is the subject of the sentence. I traverse, I press, I kick, I lower, I squat, I can. And that suggests that he feels in control. Everything that's happening is because he chooses for that to happen. And we're going to start to see that changes in the next paragraph. As I dangle, so again, we've got repetition. I haven't put repetition on here, but note that he's repeating the word dangle, and that just creates this sense of vulnerability. I feel the stone respond to my adjusting grip with a scraping quake as my body's weight applies enough torque to disturb it from its position. Instantly, I know this is trouble, and instinctively, I let go of the rotating boulder to land on the round rocks below. Now, this part's interesting. Instantly is a temporal expression and communicates to us that this happened very quickly. I haven't underlined it, but in the next line, so that would be line 31, we've also got the word instinctively. Now, before this, Aaron Ralston has worked through his mind first what he's going to do and carefully planned out everything. That he's very much been in control. The fact that he now has to act instinctively suggests that he's not in control anymore, or that he doesn't have the luxury of thinking through anything very carefully. So he's going to become quite reactive to the situation rather than carefully planning out his actions. So I would underline instinctively here as well. And this may suggest that this is the turning point, because we're going to see how kind of the sentence types change from here on. So I haven't again put this in the margin, but maybe next to line 30, from instantly I know this is trouble, I would class this as the turning point. When I look up, the backlit chockstone falling toward my head consumes the sky. So we've got personification here. Aaron Ralston is definitely not in control now. We've got this image of the stone eating up the sky as it's getting closer and closer to him. So it really seems like actually the stone is in control, and Ralston is just reacting now to what the stone does. Fear shoots my hands over my head. So now we've gone from an active voice to a passive voice. Fear makes him move his hands. He doesn't choose. If this was passive, it would say, I move my hands. But it doesn't. It says fear shoots my hands. So he's now not in control. Fear is kind of controlling and deciding what he does. So again, we've just got this idea that he's now out of control. And that's a contrast. So you might want to include that as structure. So we're starting to see a contrast in the sentence types. We had active voice, and now we've changed to passive voice. I can't move backward or I'll fall over a small ledge. Note that now he's saying I can't. In the paragraph above, we've got I can. So again, that's also a contrast. Or I'll fall over a small ledge. My only hope is to push off the falling rock and get my head out of its way. So just the phrase only hope just helps highlight that his options are very, very limited. The next 3 seconds play out at a tenth of
Miss, I've done watching the video till 1 and 30 text. Can you explain the text to 1 and 30, Miss?
Yeah, of course. Which paragraph does that stop at? Let me see.
So some kind of things like I'm forgetting, so I need to note the points so I can do good at my assessment if this appears in my test.
Yeah, let's discuss it. I've copied those onto my screen, so let's go through that. Now the first thing that she starts us off with, she tells us that the title itself is an idiom. Do you know what an idiom is?
Idiom is like when you are like um uh an idiom is like something like hold your tongue. That is an idiom.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a slang word for something.
Okay,
I'm a
so
narrator.
yeah, no, 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 it's okay. Um, let's go through what an idiom is. So, idiom's basically a phrase or a sentence, and it does not necessarily mean what it says, but it gives a different meaning.
I'm just gonna note this in my book list.
Yeah, yeah,
So I will.
of course, go ahead. Go ahead.
What's the meaning of idiom is?
An expression that has an expression or a sentence or a phrase that has a different meaning than its literal meaning. So it means something different than the words that have been used in the sentence. I have put it up on the screen for you as well.
Okay. Miss done writing.
So basically, Between a Rock and a Hard Place was not only telling us that he was physically in between a rock and a hard place, but it was telling us that he was stuck and he was stuck between life and death. That's what the idiom in this particular phrase means. Okay. Place means stuck between life and death.
Okay.
Yeah. It is also something that is known as foreshadowing. Are you familiar with foreshadowing?
Not quite, miss.
Okay. Foreshadowing basically means when something has been predicted, and it's usually in the negative concept. But it has predicted that he is going to die or that something bad is going to happen to him. That's what foreshadowing in this particular sentence shows. But foreshadowing is a figurative device or a linguistic technique that hint at something that is going to come in the future or later on in the story. Okay?
Miss, again, can you explain me? Like, can you like write it for me
Yeah,
in
sure.
the board so like I can remember and I can revise it?
Yeah, of course, of course. Here, this is foreshadowing. I've gotten the picture for you at
Okay.
the bottom. You can write down the meaning.
Miss done writing.
Okay,
Yeah?
perfect. Yeah. Now, let's analyze this first screenshot, okay? First few paragraphs. The first thing that this whole paragraph has in common is a detached tone. Do you know what a detached tone means?
No.
Okay. Detached tone means a tone without any emotions. Okay, someone who's not connected to anything, there are no emotions, there are no feelings attached. The person is very separated from whatever it is that is being discussed. Okay, all right. You can
Okay,
write
miss.
that down if you want to as well. That a detached tone means that there are no emotions, no feelings involved, and everything is so disconnected.
Miss, can you write in the board so I can copy what you're writing, miss?
Sure.
Okay, miss. Miss, should I analyze the whole thing, miss?
Yeah, so we'll
Like,
go through, obviously, analysis is for everything, right? Whole thing from the beginning to end. This is when the um, author is disconnected to what is happening. No emotions or feelings are involved. You can write that down.
okay. Miss, done writing, miss.
All right, perfect. Another thing that's been used in this text, this one is maybe 11 or 12 feet high, a foot higher, and of a different geometry. And then they've used it again, 10 feet, and then they've used it again, 50 feet, 3 feet. A lot of numbers have been used in this entire text. A lot of numbers have been used in this entire passage or entire paragraph. So this is categorized as mathematical language or measurements, or we can even say use of numbers. Now, the reason why this kind of words or these kind of techniques are used in writings or in specifically this particular text, it is
Just,
to emphasize on the difficulty of the hike that he's in. It is to identify to the audience or to show the audience exactly how far high up he is. It is just to communicate the difficulty and the actual um, to give an idea to the audience of actually how high up the author is. Okay,
yeah, miss, can you write that for me?
why are you not writing while I'm saying it? Because that's what
Uh,
you're supposed to be doing when I'm saying it. You're supposed to be writing it in your own words. So I'll repeat it again for you and you'll write it down.
okay.
Let me know
Miss,
when you're ready.
are you angry, miss?
No, not at all, but I want you to be able to do it yourself so that you have practice and you don't need help. So if you start writing by yourself while I'm talking, writing it in your own words, writing it in the way that you understand, it's good for you. It's going to help you out at the end of the day because that will help you understand things better.
Okay, miss, can you tell me, miss?
Yeah. So the author has used mathematical language or measurements to engage the readers To engage the readers into the story and to communicate the difficulty of the hike.
Miss, you were saying it emphasizes something.
Emphasizes how difficult the hike is.
Emphasizes how high the height is.
How difficult the hike is. H-I-K-E.
Oh, and emphasizes how difficult the hike is.
Yes.
Okay, done, Miss.
Okay. The next thing you have to write is that there's a lot of suspense in the text. There's a lot of suspense in the text.
Yeah, done writing, Miss.
There's a lot of suspense in the text to
Yeah.
develop interest among the audience.
Miss, which thing is it referring to, Miss?
Overall, the first paragraph. You can identify the first paragraph, lines 1 to 7, and then even lines 15 to 19.
Okay. Miss, there's a lot of suspense in the text to develop interest
Overall. Yeah.
among the overall.
Yeah, overall in the text, there's a lot of suspense to develop interest within the audience or among the audience.
So there's a lot of suspense in the text to develop interest overall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Written?
Yeah, written, Miss.
Okay.
So the author has used mathematical language. Oh yeah, Miss, I know that one.
Okay. Now the next one is that the author has used expert terminology or language. The author has used expert terminology or language. And then you can write the examples: refrigerator, chalkstone, and stemming or chimneying.
Miss, can you repeat that again, Miss?
The author has used expert terminology or expert language, for example, and then I've highlighted the two examples that you can write down: refrigerator, chalkstone, and stemming or chimneying.
For example, e.g., E.G, Miss.
Yeah.
Okay. G refrigerator. Miss, just refrigerator, chalkstone, and nothing else, Miss.
Mhm. Nothing, and stemming or chimneying, the second green
Okay,
highlight.
Miss.
Yeah.
Miss, I've said like e.g. refrigerator, chalkstone, and stemming or chimneying.
Yeah. And it shows which shows his expertise and experience in the field.
Miss, can you say it again, Miss?
It which shows his expertise and experience in the field.
Shows the experience
Expertise and experience of the author in the field.
and experience of the author on the field, Miss.
In this field. In
On
this
the
field of hiking or mountaineering.
of hiking, mountaineering. Yeah. Okay, miss.
Okay, done?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and you can say the author also, there's also use of, so next point, there's also use of positive language and assured tones. There's also use of positive language and assured tones. For
Yes.
example, it's
Right.
possible. I've highlighted it in blue. And also this I can. For example, it's possible and I can, which highlights,
And I can,
which
uh,
highlights
which highlight,
the author motivating himself,
which highlight the author, uh, highlighting,
highlights
uh,
the author motivating himself,
motivate, motivating
motivates himself
himself.
throughout
So,
throughout mountain climbing.
okay, Miss Mountain climbing. Miss, so there also use of positive language and short tones. For example, it's possible and I can, which highlights the author motivating himself throughout.
Throughout the mountain climb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Miss, what's the next one then?
The next one is then the dependent clause. If I can step onto it.
The dependent clause. Okay. Yeah.
There is a dependent clause. If I can step onto it.
If I can. Miss, is this in quotation? If I can step onto this.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Which
Which
conveys the author's
conveys, oh, sorry. Which conveys
thoughts,
the author's thought,
thoughts and doubts
thoughts and doubt.
over
Oh,
his
sorry, sorry.
next, doubts over his next steps.
Doubt over his next
Next steps.
steps. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So now you can continue watching the video and then we'll discuss the next paragraph, okay?
So where to where did we like write in this?
Until line uh 19. So
Until 19.
until line 19 we're finished analyzing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss, I have one question, Miss. Like,
Yes.
is there like a past paper for this? Because like it
There's a
keeps
lot of past papers. I don't know which one specific for this question, but I'm sure we can find one. I'll send it to you.
because like I can copy the technique and the emphasis and everything, which can make which can may come in my assessment.
Yeah. Um, there's this paper. I'm sending it to you in the Zoom chat. It is for this.
Okay, Miss.
Okay.
Miss is over there, miss.
What?
Is there, miss? Like the thing which you have sent,
Yeah,
miss.
it has a paper, it has a question for this text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's the answer, miss? So I can copy the answers as well as the question paper.
Sorry?
Uh, where's the answers so I can copy it, miss?
There's no answer. This is something you'll have to do yourself. I don't have one with answers.
Okay, miss, never mind, miss. I'll find it out in the Excel person in
Okay.
Excel. Miss, so like I've just had to hardly memorize the mark schemes of each one and understand it and then like write it in my exam. Is
Again,
it like
remember the marking schemes are not 100% accurate, and you still have to explain it in your own words. So don't be fully dependent on the marking schemes, okay?
okay, miss, can you teach me like how can I like um
Yeah,
write in assessment?
we can discuss that on our class on Friday. Why don't you finish watching the video and then we can discuss a few more points.
Okay, miss, can we not do till 6 o'clock, miss?
Why? Are you tired?
No, miss, I'm not tired, miss.
Okay, then what happened?
Can we do till 6 o'clock?
Yeah, but still, we still have 5 minutes, right?
Okay, miss.
Yeah. But just give me a moment. I'm going to be right back.
Okay, miss. Are you okay, miss? Okay. Hi, Miss.
Let's discuss active voice and then you can go.
Okay, Miss. Miss, is there a note? Miss, are you okay, Miss?
Yeah, I just have have a small cold.
Okay, Miss. Miss, overall, my teacher said like, my teacher actually told me not to use, not to like, not doing like, having correction from Quillball um, because the examiner may detect the correction I
Yeah.
was doing from Quillball. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the next thing we're going to discuss is active voice, line from 20 to 29, okay, where it says active voice here. Do you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So active voice is when a sentence starts with a subject and it tells us what the subject is doing. So it starts with the subject who is performing an action. So all of these sentences here, I press, I traverse, I kick. I is the subject. The author is talking about himself, what he's doing. So I, the subject, followed by the verb telling us what he's doing, is active voice. Okay? And what is the purpose of active voice?
Uh, I think I don't actually know about
So
active
what,
voice.
yeah, no problem. So what does
I think
active voice
I
do here? The active voice clearly conveys to the reader what actions are taking place and who is um doing those actions. So again, it is to emphasize and clarify to the audience what
Miss can I
actions are
first
being, yeah?
Miss can I first write the meaning for active voice, Miss?
Yeah, of course.
Miss, what if I write it in my own time so you can like tell me like the things that I have to write, but I'll write active voice later on.
Yeah, that's okay, no problem. We can continue this on Friday, okay? That's okay. All right?
Miss, you can even like send me the notes for like active voice.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll send it to you.
so I can copy it.
All right.
Miss,
Okay.
even can you
Mm-hmm.
send the text number which the text is referring to, Miss?
Which text number? Line number.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll send it to you. Right?
Miss, I have one question, Miss.
Yes.
Mm, Like, I'm not doing like a literature exam, but I'm just doing paper one and
Mm-hmm.
not paper two because paper two is from analysis and I have to write the analysis into
Mm-hmm.
three sections and then it will become an essay and then my teacher will check and
Mm-hmm.
she'll mark it and then she will like give it to me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, no problem. And then you can also send me the art that you want to analyze for the next class, okay?
Miss, I think my art teacher may say to my English teacher to help me for the analysis.
Okay, that's up to you, no problem. You can let me know.
Yeah.
All right,
What about
perfect.
you, Miss?
Sorry?
But Miss, I'll let you know, Miss.
Yeah, you can let me know, no problem. All right,
Yeah.
take care. Bye-bye.
Take care, Miss. Bye, Miss. Have a
Bye.
nice day, Miss.
You too.
You too, Miss.